All right, good evening and welcome to Inside Kotoko under the Silver Network. Confirmed to be a anchor. Can I swear shepa? But miana me ma di entido. Miana chese me refia. Me chabe 20 minutes video gua. Man recording him and record. Yeah, so. But you be discussing Kumasi Asante Kotoko Aduana Stars. At the end of 90 minutes, Asante Kotoko 1. Lord Amwa, and a shall go, and a Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and a Emmanuel Mafu, a shall go, and a club a friend Aduana Stars into Kotoko, and Aduana at your points nafa, and with the Babaya Sports Stadium, back to back a year draw for Asante Kotoko. Kotoko, Mata or boy against Vision FC or draw, and then was about another draw. At the Etia Club, your friend Aduana Stars. Whoa, you ever seen Konya? Now, as usual, ya pensen seminum. Now, the details, the course of our sports stadium, and your bro key observations and other major discussions. And ye on this very platform. And never pinisia, me assure some move refi. My dear Hoso, and na so better metnasia. Na ma pensen munu ma papa nsemunu na me de munchie mu no e de abro. Ghana Premier League, Midiama 21 points out of Lions 21, Aduana 20, Kumasi Asante Kotoko 16. They say the other top of the league, which is Midiama, on the Kotoko, 5 points after today's draw. Let's zoom straight to action. And again, started 3:30. Coach Karim Zito started with a lineup. Nanipa bebre raise questions. The lineup created discussions about Baba Sports Stadium. And I'm one of a previous live no. Confident I can't want some say lineup no. You had no correct can't someone. Me and Kasana, I had my objections around the lineup. Goalkeeper sees Aruna Dari. And a Dama Asante Kotoko because Mohamed Kamara still at the camp of Morocco, Guinea. Morocco. A Guinea national team and a home camp in Morocco. Right back was Lord Amwa. Left back was Patrick Esiedu. 4 and 5, no. Before the game started, there were questions. Because Yehun, Samba O'Neill, Joseph Ablo, and a Henry Ansu our lineup no. So the conversation was that Asante Kotoko coach in about 3 back. Now Lord and Patrick Abo as wing backs and now Ansu Ablo bebo echiro. I'm a Samba Abo number 6. That was a big question. When the game started, Samba was not playing in defense. He was just in front of the back 4. In team 5, you know, I am made for 3 now. Benya Samuel Tinedu, Hilary Adabo, and a Samba O'Neill. Problem number 1. Me see problem there.
Number 1.
Yeah, be back so later. Up front, Peter Aqua Saka Dauda, Morphine Donzu. Problem number 2. You find a complicated problem. You see a friend there? Complicated problem. It is being complicated. From problem number 1 to problem number 1 no, and on a complicated front 3 na e problem number 2. Bench Francis Aqua, Kwame Poku, Benjamin Chum, Babaya Zakaria Fuseni, Lord Listo na wenya Inusa Adams and Joseph Amwa. Women and Kotoko bench. Also a problem number 3. The bench of Asante Kotoko. Problem number 3. Aduana Stars, Prince was saying, Echirehono, na when ya remember Adumaku Boaten of Accra Lions. Left back for Aduana, William Denchi, former Heart to Folk, former Liberty Professionals, former Kimfesa, Bebiani Gold Stars, Aduana Stars. William Denchi. Now when you Alex Boache on Stephen Anoche Bedu, Mo Stephen Anoche Bedu ni dia no. Otu kwan bia oba Aduana. no abɛtwɔke tu kwan bi a ɔba nti Aduana ɛkyerɛ hɔ no in mfimfini no na abɛnya ɛyɛ Raymond Agyemang jersey number 4 ɔno na ɛbɔ DM na wanya Seedu ɛyɛ Sana ɔno ɛna na ɛbɔ number 8 ɔne Maxwell Atta former Dreams FC boy no we mu the 3-man midfield of Aduana Stars Seedu Sana Raymond Agyemang na wanya Maxwell Atta ɛni mu hɔ no Amponsa Henson Sab Kwatia Tiana no share number 11 no. Now anya Misaka Free, he was operating from the wings. And Emmanuel Mafu. Aduana so bemu with a 4-3-3 system. But the combination of the Aduana team created problem number 4 for Asante Kotoko. Mebaso. And you have the Aduana bench. Bright Jemu, Junior Asante. Sahas boy no. Sure. Yes. No money now. Ben Sidibe, Patrick Mensah, Charles Jeffrey Kamara, Silas Chreme, Sam Adams, Bright J. No money now bench. Shuba Ristik ne coach Karim Zito. Now the problems. Kotoko lineup may say a 4-3-3 when the game started, but a 4-3-3 without creativity and balance. The first major observation. Coach Karim Zito set up no the right game no. Meant for away matches. In venues the opponent you feel obenya more control, so you need to protect your backline. I understand, sir. Kotoko, the root cause of the problem for now me boss no was Hubert Jewu Anoye suspended. Kwadwo Seta onye fully fit. Walid Neymar onye fit and Emmanuel Enchio no so onye fit. Sa players maku in 9 they offer Sante Kotoko huge creativity. Kwadwo Set ebema o sa balance na me say lack no. Me say the midfield lack creativity and what? Balance. Kwadwo Set mama balance no. Because with the ball, open one of the brilliant passes. Omo initiate Kotoko attack. Aduana ye friend no build up. The pre-assist. Excellent distribution from the midfield zone to the final third. Makani oma bebree. Nipa ba ko oye ni clean ya Kwadwo Set. On chawa ball no so. But opia ball no ma ben opponent in the penalty box no. Eni e bra Kotoko kuta ball no. Na se Kotoko kuta ball oba chire ebeboa pre ema Kotoko ball no omutime je every opponent no ho enti ogiremu a ye koye nimu a ode oye ene ye ba ye chi so ode oye enti omema mfimfini no enye one dimensional enye one way obema variations ama mfimfini aye balance but en oni game no Hubert Jewu ema similar attributes enti was steady Kotoko matches from Brekum Chelsea game na Jewu free bench by Ebema Albetamu assist no. Whenever Sante Kotoko bo, na Hubert Jewu creativity no. And in the control and the command over the game. Era Kotoko brands and was it. So I pay attention. Into Kotoko ne vision. Jewu anya the best of games. Kotoko intimi anse. Kotoko ni nations. Jewu anya the best of game. Kotoko intimi anse. Kotoko Heart of Lions. Sa o check ya. Eche Doglu. Sa brantie no. Oni Ismailado mo. On se any Samuel Kwanza. Sa midfield 3 no. Eche Doglu Samuel Kwanza Ismailado midfield 3. Oma ma Jewu ehunu so Kotoko ntimi anya go. Pay attention to Kotoko matches. Inti na omu mienu nim no. Na ma creativity and balance no. Ayira. So the question is, ehimfo na be replace yomo. Nanka wale dem awomu a oba offer creativity. The only problem with Walid for now is fitness. But oba offer massive creativity. Onim. Anchi esunim. So surprisingly, coach played Samba. Samba is a defender. Occasionally obetimi akonanim. Akobo short bi. occasionally obetimi akọ n'anim akọ pass ball bi but see the Walid si wo ye the Kwadwo set si wo ye the Jao si wo ye the Manuel Entry si wo ni ese strike a movie the wing backs and now full backs in movie obi obetimi ascanning tema ba to wa mo ama why quick ama mokofa edibo na ye bibi no samba enye ni tipene sa amrante enti sa obo samba that even if you decide to push Adabo so on corner anima sa de ne nya Adabo strength if you force Adabo to go long with his passes obo 6 emu 2 pen be kwa kwesi player so enye na hoden then you include some what you do ti miensa na ejina mfimfin ho no akade na 6 8 and 10 especially when you are playing 4-3-3 akade na obe pay through 6 obe pay through 8 obe pay through 10 no Kotoko mfimfin miensa no mo ni bi then problem number 4 me jump ko problem number 4 me dey can asem Raymond Ajimai na Juma is defending Seydou Sani look at the control turn your jib ball no adane no ho na or search for loose spaces na or change game no or recycle ball no match over enti ball no se ma ball pese obenkum so no oji anu adane no ho most were try to nifa obe try to on e bia remember pen da ho ti mo attention be call na player no the ball be manage free space then Maxwell Arthur he's a typical number 8 sometimes even as a number 10 eduru baby o dreams impo no boss strike echi into also boss amrantie ni mienu a yen run it to the box late omoya ade let's control the tempo ade na Pedri Vitinha moye no samrantie we nim ye then see yen ko twange ball ne bra no so so it was a big problem for the Kotoko midfield and unfortunately now minim se coach person winning possession ewo Aduana for ne half no more with Tinedu and Adabo so mo nko mani ma ba omo win here so mo pass it they were fumbling on the ball so the first 30 minutes the midfield was dominated by Aduana and they were growing in confidence and don't forget so mo show mo goal as early as the 10th minute so first 30 minutes no ahye dada and also ball ne chen into grow they were rallying their fans behind them and that was a big problem for Kotoko so the imbalanced nature of the Kotoko team and lack of creativity no render Kotoko anymore phony useless now Kotoko decided to go long because yentimi passing fan by and long remember what William Denchi is good one of the best headers players are yamfa your team pinball omo ya ade ba akopa ya Alex Boache captain for Aduana odi ade aboniti no see yanko yom onwa confident tin class or watch no otia but the strength is hard why is Lisandro Martinez Man United boy Lisandro wa ba the ball for wiem jin say the weakness abeduro no ho Kotoko for the long emfa and you know Anochi Bedu so the two women are not bedu for 10/10 so it was spineless no creativity no attacking plan and zero attacking threat for Aduana Stars Coach Karim Tito realized the problem number 1 I could face the problem number 4 Aduana balance no it was limiting the Kotoko creativity which is problem number 2 for Peter Donzu and Saka now on a good day Saka and Kasano Obo defense change for now the Kotoko ball no ball se o pesa Saka je twimienu na obo she enya na ho den no the obetimi ayesa Peter and the battle between Peter and Adomako was super especially with the support from Amponsa Henson Aponsa no boa beboa oba echire beboa nti Peter bejibo obi amienu to betwe ba ko na akem now those who decided say o move ehia Peter akobo Peter ball no beba penalty box no obi ani ho so he preferred to stay in the box e ho na nkaje uba no Tuba uno, na Jawa be Peter. The Peter the Bema Jona on him joy. And I could said Bebe Peter, no na bopatupa. But I was check here anytime I na double ni Peter bebo bianenko. Tina do ni Peter bebo bianenko. So Kotoko came to the party. Ebra coach Karim Zito decided say what the baba ya eba be yi some more Tinedu. I felt it for Tinedu. And yet a fault. And yes a ball no nimbo. But I can't na ball no kosono. No jinemwane emwa. The coach needed to sacrifice one of the defensive midfielders, one of the robust players, for a bit of flair and transition, quick transition. And na baba ba no ye no. Ti baba ba no, no timi gina ball no so kakra. No timi dane ne ho paase. And eno ni ade na na Kotoko hia no, di obegina ball no so won finfin. Ama e kiri ofo na be kan anim ofo no. So we check Peter penalty no nya against Asa. Ebra ball ni kodi je one time. Oh yes, obo no so ball Peter ni ho no sen gina so. Ansa na obo na Kotoko ni sa ade ni bi won finfin. Nti ene Kotoko dearly miss Jewu. And could you said. And Yaya and ebe ma sa ade no so te. But with that, na still Kotoko ain't mean breaki Aduana. So the shot from distance from Lord Amwa, and only the way ana Kotoko betimi ahye. Shot from distance. And ebe fi achiri. So abababa aye no. Enam de oye ntinu wa pia Aduana fo na kwa anim kakra. Nti ebe to achiro betimi pai efiri achiri, and that was what saved Kotoko in Lord Amwa. Nti ana game no, creativity element was so poor. Midfield at some point was non-existent. Too steady ana e mbofre chiri sa. Adwuma odonzu ho. Ba no kra ne se ene bo san ne de ma donzu. Eya enka no kra kakra. Ya was striker bi obetimi aba echira abaji atwe bi akọ. Ba nya striker bi ahoden no. At a point, Man City no more Tevez, Aguero, Edinzeko, Balotelli. 4 strikers, but no be a con faso bobo yepe. Tevez, Ujana, Obeba, keeper, Wabe, Gigi Born, the Ako. Aguero bit maybe. But Aguero be this or ben penalty box. Edinzeko, the any as a family or penalty box on a mention mount. Ubia or Nedia. Those who the any a fatu mame. And I'm not bedroom taking it out. Out. So Kotoko were not able to locate striker in those. And that was part of the reasons here. Genuinely, goalkeeper Prince was not duly tested. See a cassie bobo. Yeah, the pressure see keeper so born way Debbie was any mono was shooting blanks. Now, my big question: why did Ablo, Ansu, Samba, any a double ball boni majority of the game? Everyone say that's my question. Because I felt a team that needed a goal. Yeah, so I can say bench, you know, and I'm me problem number 3, no. Once I'm ball bench, I'm problem number 3. You see, my problem number 4, which is Aduana Midfield. How solid or normal, yeah. Almost stress Kotoko for no. My problem number 2, which is lack of creativity and ain't mean do Kotoko anymore. Problem number 1, the setup of the Kotoko bed for 3. Problem number 3 was the bench. So now we're born in the creative outlets. Baba ya. Kwame Poku, Inusa Adams, and Alisto Ohene. We money on my form say born here back when you meet me then Abu. I don't know whether coach no any confidence in them. And as an person careful say if you are attack baby na Ediana. But honestly, I disagree. I disagree. If you have Samba and Ablo, actually, now Ansu or Bencha, these two are capable of preventing Ediana from scoring. they've prevented great teams from scoring locally. They can't great teams now, they can't Ghana. Oma prevented them from scoring. So there was no way Nessa Adabo, Samba, Ansu, and Ablo. Omo book game na edurechiri. After taking out Tinedu, introducing Yaya, any the Yaya de Bayern, it was clear that Kotoko needed another form of creativity. So many there, another form of creativity. Saka Dauda Mponi Edeneba. Ama Yaya abo 8. Na Saka kwa kaun. Wakwaka Kwame Poku was front two. Maybe I don't do that. Ne Peter da. It was something that we should have tried. Because I almost saw cabbage na Kwame Poku etia. Maybe who say onu what the other boy chain say. Adabo jina ho. Si e pesi e koye nim na Samba. Enkwa jina 6. Na baba jina Samba enim. Na Saka jina baba enim a. Ebe boy chain say baba any adabo jina ho. So I was still asking myself questions. Say, why is it Ansu we game? Then tina na say Ablo we game no. Then say Samba any adabo sa for ni we. Na say ba ku film around the 75th minute. Time no mo ba water breaker. No mo complain. That was the time I see you ba ku film. Sure. You see you be film. Send your name on the show. Because I need more name question. And that is a tactical blunder. Though we have bench now, but that is not enough excuse. There were still players. Our creativity was through chair or more no more bonibi. Adabo will do the usual control intercept. But we may be such a sad time no. Na interception ne na Kotoko hia ne pa na. Na Kotoko hia mo mbekuta ball no. E de ewura aduana because the 3 points was the target, not 1 point. But na akoye say ye hen say some ye be call for biensa. Ni enya bi kura de ene ye nhwe ba ko na ha de. No. What me say? No. Ntia hot here. I think we shot ourselves in the foot and it's a bit tactical. You do baby, you need boldness. Yes, Kediana we need match we are. Dynamics need be different. But my catch also over draw 3. Now we need 2, elusu 1 or more points than you. 82 matches are Kotoko vision. Any Kotoko Ediana about drawing. Mediama wakwase eneno. Offer 3 points. Kotoko offer 2. Into a coaching. See, I felt we were not bold enough. The question of Johnson upon comes back to the conversation. I don't want to write any conclusion. But if this lineup, lineup we, I damn it, unless say be a Johnson or man register no. Me say I don't want to draw what any conclusion. Sure. Johnson upon. Yes. Of course. Because he was not even on the bench. And the bench in the Aqua Joseph Amwa Inusa Zakare or Puku Listo or Baba Chum. On say we na a buy a mistake number check here. If Listo cannot, if Johnson cannot make the squad with all these numerous injuries there, then it points to one thing: either see and register. Because after training, maybe the ball he should be enough to get here. Now they go and some of the refereeing decisions. The Ablo incident. Confe Kotoko Omonfa de Mrazo. O de Mamen Kaman too. O de Mehu the Ablo incident. How's Ablo the yellow net? But who the penalty incident on a free year? You're addressing it later on this very channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.